few minutes for folks to jump in. It's about 4 minutes after our official start time. So I'm going to go ahead and end this poll and we will kick out the results to everyone. So you can keep that up on your screen as long as you like there. And so thanks for joining us for another meeting. For those of you who are just checking in, we've got a pretty good agenda this evening. Jim Kakos is going to give some association updates here in a few moments and may also have a few words to say about some mechanics having to do with the COVID changes he spoke about last meeting. And then we have Andy Nowlin that has a presentation with some video clips for us about safety fouls. And Chris Cordy is going to be talking about rules that involve lines and blocking and some other good things like that. He's got a lot of video to show on that as well. So without further ado, I'm going to get out of the way and turn this over to Mr. Kakos. Jim, take it away.
All right, guys. Couple association issues, updates. One, we are still requiring our members to pay their dues. This year, we're only charging $20, and there will be no late fee for this year. Also, we have nominations for elections will be open later this week. If you are interested in running for a position, we will be having nominations if you're interested for president. And we also will have 2 at-large board positions that we will have elections for this year. As far as important dates go, keep in mind state rules interpretation meetings are still going on. At this point, however, it will be a $50 cost, and they must be completed by 11:59 p.m. on September 29th. So if you have not gone and gotten your state rules interpretation meeting, there is still time for you to do that. Also, the state local rules meeting number 4 is now active in my OHSAA, and that will be active through Tuesday, September 22nd. The credits will be uploaded on September 24th. Now keep in mind, the OHSAA does have limited staff, and if there may be some delays in getting your meeting credits uploaded, please be patient with them while they're doing this. And also, our next online local or meeting for Capital West will be October 12th. And according to Scott, that sign up is already on our website and is active. So if you're interested in attending our 3rd online meeting, please go out to the website and register now. As far as COVID updates, just to give you a brief update, the state has a statewide COVID-19 observers program. The goal is to observe 100 sites per week in football, volleyball, and soccer. For football, the observer has 39 areas to mark as a pass or fail. And the information is then shared with both schools' ADs, and each location is required to pass with 100% compliance. Oh, what is he drawing here? Here we go. So, what are some of the areas that these observers are looking at? They're looking at the facility hosts. They're making sure people in the stands are wearing their masks, that they have proper signage out, sanitizing stations for people. The fans are socially distanced in the stands, that there's a public address announcement concerning COVID and the requirements. They're looking at the participants, again, making sure that they're socially distanced on the sidelines, things of that sort. Coaches, and excuse my misspelling there. Game officials, spectators, again, and then of course some general rules for football. So important particularly for us as game officials, what we need to be concerned about. They want to make sure that facial coverings are worn when not on the field or court or on a court. Now this includes the pregame. So anytime you're walking from your locker room to the field or vice versa, you must have a facial covering on. And it's strongly urged that during your pregame, when you're out talking with the coach, that you have your facial covering on. You need to make sure you're maintaining your 6 feet social distance at all times, unless you're on the field or court. So if you're congregating down at one end zone getting ready for the national anthem, make sure you guys are spread out, okay? That there's no physical contacting, such as high fives, fist bumps, etc. Okay? Even your handshake with your coaches, that's not to be done at all this year. Okay? And spend limited time in a group. I mean, and a lot of this is during warm-ups or pregame. Once you walk your field, get together, talk about any issues you may have. After the coin toss, get together, share your information, and try to, again, it's the distance thing. Okay, and of course, no sharing of equipment, towels, facial coverings, water bottles, drinks, or food. With that, does anybody have any questions? Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and go to mute and send this over to Andy.
Andy and Allen, take it away.
All right. All right. Thanks, Jim, and thanks, Scott. Good evening, everyone. Want to thank Cap Wets for having me. As we look at safety fouls, they are being defined as fouls that are potential, that can potentially cause harm and or injury through illegal acts. So the first one we're going to look at is blocking below the waist. And in your rule book, that's 2-3-7. And it reads as, is making initial contact below the waist from the front or side against an opponent other than the runner. Blocking below the waist applies only when the opponent has one or both feet on the ground. So we're going to take a look at this. And actually, to me, that's very, should be very simple. You saw it right there in the middle of the field, this linebacker right here. And if you notice too, there was 4 flags thrown on this, which immediately right here at the top of the screen is swing, your U had it, and the R. Now, one, if you notice, one bounced in, and the comment I have from this is, seems a little late from the back judge. Not saying that he didn't see it, but you just want to make sure, there's some belief that the more flags you have, the better the call. But you want to make sure that you see the whole play, and let's not just have supported flags just to have flags out there. Now, right here, you just want to look here at the wing here at the bottom of your screen. Here comes the flag. Now, if you notice, let's just watch it one more time. It's a good call. He had it, possibly the R could get that, but the only comment I have on this one is just, we just had a memo not too long ago from Bruce, and looking at the flag placement, hitting right here on the back. So you just want to be careful of that one. Now this next video is still, we're looking at block below the waist. You'll see it better on the replay because it's up here. Want to look right here. So that one right there, that's a good no call or no flag. he went immediately, the lineman dived immediately on the snap. So it's probably a good block right there. So next we're going to look at blind side blocking. That's rule 2-3-10, 9-4-3N. A block against an opponent other than a runner who does not see the blocker approaching. Down below, unless what? Initiated with open hand. What's interesting enough, and maybe they came in later, but it doesn't appear so. Again, there was no flag on that. And if the R is supposed to be 15 yards back, maybe he thought he was gonna get tackled over here. If you notice how he got up in here and on this reverse, now he's less than 5 yards. You don't see a flag, and even this wing here. Initially, I thought he was maybe looking to go into his back pocket, not sure, but that's someone who also could have a flag, and maybe the umpire, just depending on where he is. So you just want to make sure you look at that. You want to look here at the top of your screen. Again, does not look like we have a flag on this. I think the wing could have been, waited a little bit more in what his react was, because then he just started trying to backpedal. What he could have done is just stayed where he was at and just back up, since he was already coming toward him, and maybe he would have been able to see it. It does look too, I mean, I don't know. Let's go about right here. You know, just guessing, maybe it looks like he's just ball watching and not paying attention there. But you also have, you know, the umpire comes in. He may have could have seen that. You have the back judge. But then also, I mean, if you look at the official, he just, you know, just kind of just walks by. Now here you got his helmet over here. Man, that's just a dangerous one. So, you know, if you got comments and questions, don't forget you can ask those. You get another look at this one in slow motion as well. So look at where the back judge is. He's actually in front of this runner. He's supposed to be at least 5 yards back right here. So and then no flag. So the other thing is, what penalties do you have? Actually, we got multiple penalties there. What you see is you actually have a block in the back and a blind side block. So, hey Scott, if you like, can you go ahead and talk about the penalty enforcement on this play?
Yeah, so if you run that back just a little bit, actually run that clip again, and let's take a look and pay attention this time as the clip goes through. Pay attention to where the yard lines are. So we've got the ball kicked back there, looks like about the 20. So let's see, right there, pause it. Go back to Andy, right where they make contact. And leave
I may
it
be a little bit
paused.
ahead of people on this.
Okay, well, back just a little further. Okay, right there. Okay, so we've got, I'll move it forward just a second or two there.
Okay.
There you go, right there. Okay, so we've got two potential fouls here. It looks like the ball carrier has that ball right now. It looks like he's on about the 40-yard line. So that first blindside block looks like it happens at about the 42, and the block in the back looks like it's at about the 48. So those two fouls that you have there, if you take the block in the back, that would be a 10-yard foul from where that occurs, which is at the 48-yard line. So because the run ends beyond that spot, the enforcement would be from that spot of the foul by the all but one principle, and you go back 10 yards, put the ball on the 38 with a 1st and 10. Or you've also got this 15-yard they have a choice from here, and since that happens at the 42, you could take 15 from there and go back and have the ball on roughly the 27. So in this particular situation, if you're the R and you have both of those fouls, it's really not something you want to go to a coach or a player and say, hey, which one do you want to take? Just kind of take the common sense approach that they're going to want to punish that offensive team or the return team the best they can in this situation. So you would wave off that block in the back and enforce that blindside block 15 from the spot of the foul, because that ball ends up downfield.
All right. Thanks, Scott.
Sure.
We have one more here. You get another view here. And if you notice, this is not in Ohio, because if you look at where, this must be the back judge, which to me makes it even worse. I mean, you're in the middle of the field, you're watching, look like you're ball watching it, but you still should have seen that. And it's so wide open. I mean, I'm not sure what this referee is doing as well. I mean, that's open enough field that someone should have been able to see that and get a flag on it. Next, we're going to go up to chop block, guys. And that's in your rule book 2-3-8. It is a combination block by 2 or more teammates against an opponent other than the runner, with or without delay, where one of the blocks is low at the knee or below, and one of the blocks is high above the knee. Want to look right around here on the line of scrimmage. If you notice where he went immediately low, he goes low immediately, and then the guard then goes right over on top of him. No flag, no flag. The flag came from the back judge. Again, not saying that he shouldn't throw it, because again, if you see it, you should throw it. But even the wing down here, you're in R and R1 because it was a run play. You should be looking straight down this line, possibly can help out the referee and the umpire. So this is one of those calls, though, too, that Bruce would say was a crew save potentially. So You just really want to, especially the wings where you can really help out on that. And that's one thing that I've been working on this year, making sure I pay attention down here when I stay in R and R1 is to look straight down that line. Next we have clipping, and that's 2-5-1 in your rule book. A block against an opponent when the initial contact is from behind, at or below the waist, and not against a player who is a runner or pretending to be a runner. One of the plays I think about and look at on that is when you have the quarterback doing that, they're doing the dive play with the running back, and he's holding on to the ball to decide whether to give it to him or not, or pull it back, and you got the defender coming from the back. That's a play that typically could look like that as well.
Andy, I'm going to pop your poll up for this one.
Yep.
You had a poll question on this, so we'll pop this
Yep.
up here.
I'm gonna let this run. You know, and as you look at this, while you have the defender in the free blocking zone, this wing right here, he's not up on the line, and it's not immediate. One of the other things that you're looking at is where his head goes, it looked like his head is in front of him, but the force of his body, the most of his body puts that force on the back of that knee. So, you know, really you have a decision here, you could, on whether or not that is a clipping or a block below the waist. And with that, there would be different penalty enforcement depending on what you decide to go with.
All right, so
results.
yeah, I have I'm going to let this go for about another 10 seconds here, Andy. If you just want to play that through one or two more times, and then we'll pop up the results and then kind of have a discussion about why people might view this as one particular type of block or another. Yeah, give it one more play there, and then we'll close the poll down and put up the results. And Andy, if you hit your escape a couple of times, you'll be able to see the results along with everybody else there.
Okay. You know, not too far off between blocking below the waist and the clipping. You know, someone doesn't believe there's no foul there. That just think about what constitutes the foul there, and you know, it's not immediate, and he's off the line. So that's what helps make this a foul. Me, again, I think you can go either way. Because he does get his head in front of him, and then you got the force of his body, basically shoulders down and back, falling on the back of the leg and the knee. I don't think you can go wrong. I would probably look more at the clipping, just from the standpoint of, you know, he came down hard on him. This player is withering a little bit on the field. Definitely it hurt him. So I think I would probably look more at the 15-yard penalty, because we know the block below the waist is 10. The clipping would be 15. But again, it was very close in there with that. So I don't think you'll be wrong either way. What you really like about it is the fact that we did have a flag on it, that you had a flag on it. And here I'm not sure if we see it or not. So good job. Uh-oh, let's see here. Oh, okay. We're gonna go to the next one. Hold on, guys. I'm getting it. There we go. Next we have is defenseless player, which is 2-32-16, 9-4, 3I3. It's a player who, because of his physical position and focus of concentration, is especially vulnerable to injury. A player who initiates contact against a defenseless player is responsible for making legal contact when in question. A player is defenseless. We're gonna have two here. Scott, this will be a poll question as well after it runs through a couple of times. Let me let it run one more time, and I'm going to let the question go up before talking about it because it's in the question. Okay,
run another time there.
Okay.
All right, we'll give it another 15 or 20 seconds here for folks to make their choice. All right. And then again there, Andy, if you hit your escape button a couple of times, you'll be able to see the results on your screen as well.
Okay.
And this was a multiple choice question, so that this is not an either or. This is people could choose as many of these things as they want on here.
Yeah, and it looks like majority of them, well, a lot of them, 88% got the defenseless player. So we know we got that initial one. And then, and some also feel that they want to add on the taunting play, which I think I would have went with the taunting as well. Because look, he gets hit, he comes up in his face. There was really no reason for that player to have to come up in his face like that. He wasn't in the play. He had nothing to do with it. So it's a judgment call, and it might actually could be a talking to as well. So Scott, I may be corrected on that. I just want to correct something on that last play where we did the blocking below the waist or the clipping. I said 10 and 15. I think block below the waist, isn't that 15 as well?
Yeah, it would be 15.
So I erred on that one. So, but I just want to make sure that got corrected. So, all right. So, the next one here. Scott, this one too is a poll question.
Okay.
So I'll let it run a couple of times. And basically, it's just a simple question, yes or no, if he was defenseless or not. let it run through one more time, and then we can get see what the results were. Is it ready, Scott? Okay. Okay, we got them. 56% says yes and 40% says no. You know, again, some of the things that go into that. Did you think? Did he see when he turned around that? Did he just turn into it? The one thing, it needs to be a football play. We didn't see any arms out or trying to wrap him up. The goal is not to punish a player. It's trying to, you know, you want to make a football play. And then also, you know, look at the crown of his helmet. You know, it went right there into his stomach there, head down. So he wasn't even, so really he don't know where the ball is. And look how the player is getting up. You know, kind of like, oh man. So you want to look at that one. Like that. Next one we're going to look at here, folks, is the horse collar. We're going to have a few horses out here on this one. Let me see here. In your rule book, that's 9-4-3K. Horse collar is grab the inside, back, or side collar. Grab the nameplate area directly below the back collar, either the shoulder pads or the jersey, and pull opponent backwards or sideways to the ground. Now that's just a vicious play too. So we're gonna see it again. Reminds you of one of those old school clotheslines in the backyard with your friends. Scott, do you have any comments on this one?
Yeah, on this particular one, Andy, if you'll stop it right where he makes contact with his arm on the runner, if you can pull it back to that spot.
About right there?
Right there is good. So in this particular one, when you see it in full speed, it looks like, it looks like you definitely could have a horse collar tackle. But when you see it in slow motion, what you've got is this guy's arm comes in on the front side of the jersey. So he's not pulling him down from the side or the back inside the collar or the nameplate. But what I think is kind of difficult to see on this is exactly how high that arm may have been. Did he make contact above the shoulders initially? If he made first contact above the shoulders, to the head and neck area, you could potentially have a targeting foul here instead of what might look like a horse collar on this play.
Okay. Thank you. This will be a poll question as well.
Okay. All right, let me launch the poll here and then watch this through
a couple of times.
A couple more times.
I'm not sure if, let me see what people.
Yeah, this plays a little more complicated. So let's run that one section you've got there, just kind of drag it back and forth in slow motion so folks can kind of see what's going on in that one piece.
Okay. Let's go right here. So you got the arm. right around here, whatever, you know.
All right. Give it one more
Somewhere
time
right
through in full speed, and then we'll close the poll and see what the results are.
There comes the flag.
Okay, so Andy, if you give your escape a couple of times, you'll get your results there.
Yeah, and you know, we went over this back and forth, and we kept looking at it, and you know, I think eventually we landed as well on no as we continue to review it, and we just didn't feel that grasp and pull wasn't the only thing, and that could be maybe why the U didn't throw or the wing. And this isn't a bad time to maybe you come together as a crew, and maybe they did that as well. Generally, a horse collar, they're easier to see and call, usually more when you're wide open and stuff. So, that's what we had. So that was good. You know, I'll just do this one more time again. You don't have a horse collar here because all the things are met, another defender come in. But, you know, one of the things you may look at is which one of the guys on the field could have made a different call for maybe a late hit out of bounds. Again, second defender, so no horse collar there. Next, we're going to look at roughing the kicker. 9-4-5 in your rule book, a defensive player shall neither run into the kicker nor holder, which is contact that displaces the kicker or holder without roughing, nor block, tackle, or charge into the kicker of a scrimmage kick or the place kicker holder. You know, fairly easy on a flag. You know, you talk about on this one, conversations could potentially be had. Was it roughing or was it just running into? Just the fact that he went to the ground may not necessarily make it roughing, but it's just something to think about as you go through that, because you know the penalties would be different versus running into and roughing. Me personally, I would have had a roughing on that. No brainer. He could have had a flag also. I don't know if he went to pull it and he couldn't, and so he just couldn't get it. And the last couple of slides that we have, party people, is targeting. 2-20-2, 9-4-3M. Targeting is an act by any player who takes aim and initiates contact against an opponent above the shoulders with the helmet, forearm, hand, fist, elbow, or shoulders. Let's see it again here. Right there. Didn't see a flag. You know, those two are running up there. Don't know if anything came from back there. But that's Tom Tupa, guys, that did it also. That's the kicker. You see right here, you know, look at right there, that helmet right there. If you don't have a flag on it, could you had a dead ball foul? Could you had just a late hit out of bounds? But there definitely was a targeting play on that. For all those that don't know, Tom Tupa was a great kicker for Ohio State. That's the kicker. Okay, so on this one, let's play it again. So you have a targeting, because I know everybody on here would have thrown the flag, but then you also have a catch. So Scott, you want to talk about this one on the penalty enforcement?
I'm on mute. I did that last time too. Play the clip again real quick. Let's see this from start to finish. And actually, I want you to pause it right as the quarterback's getting hit.
Okay.
Okay, so for starters, I know we can't really get any verbal response from folks, but if you think about this, what type of play is this? Quarterback was in a shotgun. It started with a backwards pass from the center, so the snap was backwards and the ball was loose. So this is a loose ball play. So the actual action that we've got on the quarterback here, it is definitely a target. Because you can see that he launches into him and he initiates contact to the chin area with the crown of the helmet. But this is also, and I'll leave it where it is for the moment, Andy, but if you watch this in full speed, there's probably no way that this hit came after the ball's away. So this player is still the quarterback at this point. So not only do you have a targeting, but you have a roughing the passer. So if we take a look at it, it's a loose ball play. So the basic spot for fouls on a loose ball play is the previous spot. However, in this particular situation, we have a roughing the passer that carries a special enforcement. This pass was completed. So with a roughing the passer, you can tack on to the end of the play, the yardage. So you would go to where the player was downed, and we don't need to go there at the moment, but I think it was at the 20-yard line, 25-yard line, somewhere in that neighborhood. So you would go half the distance to a goal, and you would have a first down at that point. And the reason you get to tack on is because it is a roughing the passer, and the roughing the passer has those special privileges. Had this been some other player that was targeted back here and not the passer, then that foul, because it happened during the loose ball portion, during the loose ball play, the offense would have the choice of taking the result of the play or coming back to the previous spot to get the yardage from up there.
Okay, thank you, Scott. I'll run it through just one more time. So it's tackle basically around 35. You tack on 15 of that, and what Scott said. So that's all I have. Just want to thank you, and I'll turn this back over to Scott.
All right, thanks, Andy. And then I'm going to share my screen. And Paul, between you and Charles, you can pick the videos you want to see, and I'll run them and start and stop them for you. So hang on one
Okay.
moment here. All right, there we go. So just let me know which one you want and we'll pop it up there and get started with it.
Well, to me, let's just start with the first one.
Okay, here we go.
That's right again. So to me, what I'm seeing is potential chop block is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, looks like right there in the center of the screen. Looks like you have the center and the right guard.
Guard combo.
Yeah.
So basically, that is probably either going to be the U is going to probably get that. Even the R could get that, depending on where they're positioned on the field. So what's the penalty enforcement on that?
Or nobody else can reply except the three of us that are on here. So I'll let you and Charles handle the conversation on this one.
Okay. Well, again, from my perspective, again, chop block, it's a player safety foul. Those are typically your 15-yard penalties, and that's what this would be. 15-yard penalty is either, it's going to be all but one principle from what I see here. So it depends on where the end of the run is and where the foul is. So the foul looks like it occurs like maybe 1 yard beyond the line of scrimmage. Yeah, let's see where the run ends. So the run ends beyond. So we would take the spot where the foul took place, which is, like I said, about 1 yard beyond the line of scrimmage. And moving 15 yards back and replay the down.
All right, we've got
We
got some blocking below the waist, some positioning ones, fumble or incomplete. What type of subject would you like next?
Let's look at a positioning one.
Okay. This one's titled Back Judge Position.
So I'm looking at this play. It looks like the back judge should have been at the end line. The DB and the receiver should have pushed him to the end line, and he should have been there ahead of time to stand in position to watch this catch. No catch. Make his ruling. And if I saw correctly, the ball was on the ground in the end zone.
Yeah, it does look like it.
Yeah, let's take another look at that.
Yeah, right here is the ball.
Yeah.
And it definitely does not look like it was in control by anyone for very long.
Right.
So the question then is, you got the back judge ruling catch. Can anybody help?
The wing on that side should come in and help. would have a good look. The umpire, possibly, depending on how fast they turn around, should be able to help with that.
So we definitely need to come together and talk to say, hey, are you sure you had a catch? You know, the ball looked like it, I don't know, it's on the track, looks like.
And Charles, there is a question that came in the Q&A. I'll play this forward for a few seconds there. And the question is, should the back judge be standing in the end zone when he signals touchdown, or should he be out of bounds, or does it make a difference where he stands when he actually gives the signal?
If the back judge is in the right spot from the get-go, he would have been in line to make that call either way. He's beat, so once he's beat, I mean, find a spot, stop, and if you're in the middle of the end zone, that's where you are. But you want to be on the end line here to make that call.
All right. Get us another clip here. What would you like next, guys? I'll roll that first line up so you can see some more there. We've got one about a DQ or not DQ. There's some holding, intentional grounding calls.
Well, let's do intentional grounding.
Okay.
I didn't get a good look at that.
Yeah. So there he is getting tackled, and the ball is actually up here near the top of the screen, in the center of the screen. If you watch the ball, it comes and it sails. You see where the official on the sideline is standing with the white jersey. The ball is probably about 10 to 15 feet over their head, but heading right directly over them. So I'll play that back from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, to me, first thing is, you know, what's the line of scrimmage guy doing? I mean, he's right on top of the player, so it's very hard for him to be in position to make a call on this play because, you know, number one, he's too close. He should probably stay closer to that line of scrimmage. If anything, just a couple yards down. Now, tough call here from my perspective is it looks like the quarterback is being hit, but he's also throwing the ball. You got the player there. Yeah, it's way over his head. From my perspective, quarterback is being hit. The ball's way over his head. It's hard to say accuracy here. I'm basically going to go in and tell the referee I did have a player in that position, that the ball was thrown to him.
Yeah,
That's how I would rule on that.
All right. We've got time for a couple more on here. So is there another piece of subject matter you guys would like here? There's some holdings. There's one about is it a hurdle or not? Some late hits, kickoff mechanics for first touching.
Well, let's stay on our topic. Go with the late hit, safety foul.
Okay. That's actually the same one that Andy showed, so I don't want to show that one.
Yeah,
Let me
don't
see
do
if I
that
can find another one. Andy already gave away the answer to that one. Yeah, that's the only late hit that they've got in this video set here at the moment. Well, here's one that says receiver hit. I don't know what this clip is, but it sounds like it might be something that could be safety foul related here.
Okay.
I kind of stopped it there at what's probably the important part of this video.
Yeah, I was trying to see. For me, it was hard to tell whether it's, you know, hit to the shoulder area or head area.
Yeah, I
It
think
looked like he's aiming for the chest area. Now, whether he hit him up high, it's hard for me to tell on this video.
Can we run it back at speed?
Yeah, I think kind of playing off what Andy had mentioned on some of the ones that he had. If you look at the positioning of the guy making the hit, this doesn't really look like a football play. This looks more like a punishment type play. You've got a launch where both feet are off the ground. You have even, I don't know if he's made contact with the head or not, but he's got the head down. Both arms are down at his side. There's not an effort to tackle this player as much as there is an effort to just drill him.
Yeah, I think what you got to judge on is where is the ball when he hits him. You know, let's watch it real time. I mean, I don't necessarily want to sit there and try to be so perfect with, you know, just like with pass interference. You know, you're looking at is it a bang bang call? And the key is, if I saw him hit him up in the head, we definitely got a foul. Because if that's what we have as a launch hit to the head, we do have a foul. If we are looking at unnecessary roughness because the ball is beyond him when he gets hit, you have to rule that as, to me, is it considered bang bang, or is it enough of a gap for you to say he had time to change his direction? I think this one, to me, when it's full speed, I think it's hard to make that call. Look at on slow motion, it looks like, yeah, it's late. It should be a foul.
Hey, Charles, which in a play like this, we watched the whole thing through, which officials are positioned to, if there was some concern about that, which officials are positioned or should be in a position to be able to come in and say, hey, what did you see on this? Who's got the best look at this if they're all in the right spots?
I would probably say your back judge, your head linesman, possibly just the head linesman side, the line judge, depending on how far outfield they got, and possibly your umpire, again, depending on how fast they turn around. I think your head linesman might have the best view of this.
Okay. All right, guys, let's take one more. Let's see if we've got something interesting on here. What do you think about a hurdling one? Sound good?
I can't do it.
Okay. So the first thing I would ask you, Paul, is what that running back did meet the definition of a hurdle?
What I saw in the film, it was kind of choppy. So, there. Okay. Well, you got the player upright. He's got 2 feet on the ground. So if he had a hand on the ground, he had more than just his feet on the ground, then would not meet the definition. Looks like he does have a foot forward jumping over him. So I would say, from a definition standpoint, what I see here, I would agree that it is.
Okay. Charles, what do you think of the positioning of at least the three that we can see in the frame here, as far as how they're officiating this running play and whether or not they'd be in a good spot to help rule on this?
Yeah, not knowing it down here. If it
Let's
was
see if
third
we
or
can
fourth
get
down,
that.
I would say the wings probably should be at the line of gain, or maybe not. After looking back at it, no, I think they're fairly good position. I would like to see the opposite wing come a little bit more diagonal towards the hash for this particular play and get off the sideline over there.
Okay. All right. Well, hey guys, thanks for pinch hitting on that and helping us get some good stuff with our little bit of technical difficulties we had. I really appreciate Charles and Paul joining us in there to do a little bit of film review. And Jim Kakos, do you have any last comments or anything before we bow out for the evening?
No, guys, just be patient with me. I will try to have everything posted for meeting attendance by the end of this week. And hope everybody has a good week 3 this week, or week 4. Where are we at, Scott? So y'all have a good night.
All right. Thanks everyone for spending an evening with us, and hope your season has been good to this point, and hopefully everyone continues to be safe and healthy. And we'll either see you out on the football field or we will see you on October 12th at our next meeting. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.